All right, for your painting, you will need your good piece of paper, and you will need a water cup, your paintbrush, and your paint. You may also need some markers. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do an example of purple for you. So I'm going to do it right here on my piece of paper here. Um, because you don't have purple, you can make purple. So you have a plastic plate, your mixing tray. You're going to add a little bit of water, a little bit of water. Oh, this is a tiny paintbrush. You have a tiny paintbrush too. Okay, so then you take your pink, and I know your pink is not amazing, but you're going to color that, get it as dark pink as you possibly can. Now mine's going to be a little bit darker than yours because my pink is a little bit different than yours. What I would do to make your pink darker is simply go into your red after you rinse it 10 times. Go into your red and add a little bit of red to it. Add a little bit more red to it and rinse it out before you add more red to it. Rinse it, add more red to it. You can add a little bit more water, more water, more water, till you get a nice big blob. Now rinse it out really good and get another blob over here. And you're going to make that blob blue. So we're going to just add some water to it until it gets to that beautiful blue color that we want. When you are happy with it, you can then take your two and start mixing them together, and you will get a purple. From here you can add a little bit more color to it. Just make sure you rinse out in between. And then you have your violet color. Beautiful. Now, because we don't have purple, I am going to be nice to you and I'm going to show you simply one color. So we're either going to choose blue or green. I'm going to pick blue. Or no, I'm going to pick green. A lot of blue tends to be used faster. And again, I'm going to make some lines on my piece of paper. And I wouldn't do a lot of lines, just some fun lines. Okay, great. And those lines should make shapes. Some of us had trouble with that. We didn't understand how to color in the shapes when we made our lines. Your lines have to touch the edge of your paper. I said that in the last assignment where I asked you to make shapes, and some of us did not do that. So this here is just simply the painting technique where I am painting using my water and my paint. And I need a little bit more water and paint. Beautiful. So that is your painting technique. I'm rinsing it out. I would like you to use multiple techniques, please. Now I am also going to use my wet and wet technique. I am then putting water here. This is water and nothing else. So I kind of want this to be blobby with water. Unfortunately, I put pen writing on the back side of this and it is bleeding through. Luckily it's blue ink. So yes, you can you can use a blue pen and make designs on it and then use water over top and it will actually bleed. I'm going to show you with that with marker in just a little second. Now I did my water, so now I need to use my paint. And this is the wet and wet technique, and notice how it spreads. It's almost like putting dye in a water bowl or a fish tank. I'm not really sure why you would put dye in a fish tank, but I some of the fish medicine has a yellowish color and does something similar. I don't know. It's been a while since I had fish. I was a little kid. Loved my fish. My favorite one was Goldie. He was a goldfish. All right, so then I rinse this out. And now I'm on to another shape. So I did wet and wet. I did the painting technique. Very quickly, if you have, and dry markers work great for this. If you have a marker and you want to color this, you can color it in. And it doesn't have to be perfect. But just like I said with that blue pen, you can then take your water and just simply paint right over top of it. Just water. There's no color on here. And so let me tell you a little bit about watercolor. The more water you use with the paint, and again, this is marker, but the more water you use with paint, the lighter it's going to be. So instead of pushing harder, we don't want to kill our paintbrushes here, or pushing lighter, because that's not really going to work. Same thing with markers. You need to add more water. If you add more water, it's almost like adding more white. There is no such thing as white watercolor. If you have a watercolor packet and it comes with a little tube of white paint, that is actually acrylic paint, because in order to do watercolor, true watercolor, you simply add water. And again, you'll notice that in between those is a very lighter blue. So fun thing to do, just since we're with the markers, you can also color the outside with a dark, thick line. Or you can color using stippling. That's the dotting technique. Okay, we learned about that when we talked about post-impressionist art, okay, and Georges Seurat, and those friends at school who've noticed my mask. Yes, it is, one of my masks is by Georges Seurat, and it is Saturday at the park. Okay, and then I can do a couple lines here, if I want. Okay, and I can pull my paint into the center, and you'll notice how it is dark on the edges and it is lighter in the center as I pull my paint. Okay, so again, I'm just giving you some different techniques to use. Your goal is to simply make these different values or different shades or tints. Shades means dark and tints means light. Typically you add white, but again with watercolors we just add water. So again, I'm going to continue doing this and you can watch. I'm trying to get each shape a different value. Some of you may be wondering what that straw is for, so I am going to show you very quickly what the purpose of that straw is. You're going to take this shape and you're going to simply paint it with water to the best of your ability. You do actually want the water to be not completely soaked in. You want to kind of have it blobby. So it's okay if it's a big puddle just on that shape. That's why we use the crayon. It'll help keep it inside that shape. Now, I am going to use my blue paint. As long as you use the color that you choose, you're fine, but I'm going to use blue for this demonstration because all of my kids are using blue. Notice how it starts to spread out. Lots of fun, the coloring. I can then take my straw. I'm going to put my lips on one side and I'm going to, as if, you know, I'm about to drink my straw, okay, or drink my drink from my straw. Do not suck in. You are not drinking this. I want you to put your lips on it and blow. It will make a noise. Okay? Now, I would like you to do that, but you're going to put this end of the straw down near your paper and then blow. Look at what happens. Now, some of it might go into another shape, and that's okay. I'm not going to be upset. You can have fun with this. If you want to blow it into some of your other shapes, I am fine with that, okay? And then you're going to continue painting those other shapes.
All right, so then there you go. You can take a picture of this and post it in the comment box below, and make sure that you let this dry and save it for next week. That is really important. You just use your cool color. This is going to be your complement. The complement of blue is orange. The complement of purple is yellow, and the complement of green is red. I like to think of red and green are Christmas colors. Blue and orange, B-O, body odor, blue, orange. Yes, I know. And purple and yellow, well, they both have tails. Say what? They both have tails? Yes. If you look at the letter P, it has a tail. It's a straight tail. If you look at the letter Y, it has a tail. It's a straight tail. It's diagonal, but it's straight. The reason I talk about the straight tails is because a G also has a tail, but it curls like a kitty cat. Thank you for following along with that demonstration. So now that we're done, please make sure you take a picture of that or a video and post it in the comment section below. All right? Hold on to it, so if you need to put it in your art bag for next week or in a special spot so you remember it, try to do that, okay? You're going to hold on to that artwork for next week. Remember, this week you're not being graded on how well you did your artwork. This week was more about the learning, okay, and showing me that you understood what value was. And you understood the different colors that we talked about. Thank you so much.